Prices are up in Chester County. This is something really good, but it's also misleading. Not every home is selling, and that's where people are getting confused because, as you heard me, prices are up in Chester County. Right now, what is driving the market in Chester County, it's the low inventory, meaning not a lot of sellers are coming on the market. So any house that comes on the market gets attention, but attention doesn't necessarily mean selling quick. The bottom line comes to the presentation of the house, the conditions on the house, the price of the house. So we have to be very careful when we're getting ready to list the house, having a conversation with the sellers, making sure what their goal is and explaining what the current market is. We just went past several years where a lot of the houses on the market sold relatively quickly, overpriced, and with minimum contingencies. The current market is relatively the same with a couple of things that have changed. Many of them being that buyers sometimes get the opportunity to be a little bit more selective depending how the house was positioned. If the house is listed correctly, presented well, it would sell in a couple days, multiple offers, and in great situation for the seller. But if you miss that mark, then your house will sit a little bit longer, and that's where a little bit of a stress, confusion, and back and forth with prices begin on price reduction. So that's what I mean of where people are getting confused when we're saying that the prices are up on Chester County. We are very thankful of the area where we live. It's a market where relatively remains very steady. We haven't seen that many price reductions or like in different parts of the country where things have started to come down. For the majority of the part, houses that come on the market go within 3 to maybe 5 days under contract, sometimes with multiple offers. School district influence the prices, the location influence the prices, the price and the conditions. But we have to be very thankful of where we live because Chester County is very rich on many resources, location, and that's what keeps the prices at the level that they are. A lot of people are waiting for a market crash. We might see it in different parts of the country. Here, we're relatively very steady. You could see it with the school districts and anything that comes on the market. There's a lot of builders, and that influence a lot of the market. But we might see a slowdown on the market, but it's just adjusting. And you might hear this many times that the market is adjusting. Yes, but we're seeing it just a little bit less, a little bit more, because we were so used to houses being sold for more than what they were listed. Right now, still the case, but you have to be very careful how you position the house. Again, keeping in mind that every house that comes on the market gets attention, but it doesn't get sold. So any house that you see and sitting on the market for too long, a lot of buyers begin to question it, why it hasn't sold. Here are some of the reasons why a lot of the houses win or sell real quick. I already mentioned a couple of them, which are the price. You have to put a price that is with the market. A lot of the sellers are still in the mindset that any price I put is just going to go up. Or I tend to have some sellers that just want to go higher because they have heard different conversation of this type of video where they say, well, the market is adjusting. So if I go higher, a buyer will come in, offer less, and I get my number. That is not the case. When you go higher than what the house is, your house will sit longer, and you don't want that. So pricing it correctly will bring the amount that you listed the house for, which is going to net you the amount that you receive, or get you a higher amount versus if you go too high, it's just going to sit. The next is preparing your house. Take your time with your agent, myself, Chester County here, and walk around the house. Get some ideas on how you can position your house different from the rest of the house. Simple things you tend to hear: declutter your house, depersonalize your house. Those are great, but you can always go above and beyond. Find out what those are. Every house is very different. Some will have a beautiful landscape. You want to show that beautiful landscape. Others have a finished basement. Make sure the finished basement shows. Some owners have an amazing garage, but when they're getting ready to sell, they put everything on the garage that a lot of the buyers don't get to see it. It's minor stuff. People tend to love on the house, but if you work you work really hard to have an amazing garage, show it, because ultimately that's what's going to be another selling point on your behalf. Some decks right now, spring is here, summer is just around the corner. Show that beautiful space that you tend to have outside. That is going to bring you more money in your pocket, have the house sell quicker, so have it prepared. The next is the presentation. Make sure your house is presented the same way you look at it through your eyes, but also make sure that it is on the buyer's eyes. What we consider beautiful, or we think it's presentable or it looks good, it might not be for the buyer. Make sure that the colors, house conditions, presentation when they come in, smell, it's actually there, because that's what's going to attract the buyer into putting an offer, and more buyers putting an offer on your house. Make sure that it is presented well. Many marketing tools are available that will help your house sell. Find out what marketing tools are being used to market your house and present it. Not just a simple go on the MLS, actually find out what some of those things are. And you might not even really care, but at least think about it. Have your agent see what we do. There's many things that I tend to do when presenting a house. I'll be happy to show them the value of the house. The price is different from the value of the house. Your house, either it's in an amazing school district, walking distance to a park, near a grocery store. Knowing your area, knowing the location brings value to your property. There's certain houses, they say, hey, we don't have a park, we don't have a grocery store nearby. Well, even just peace, not so much noise, that's value to your property. Find out what that is, and sometimes talk about it to the realtor. Tell me what you think is going to bring more value to your home other than just the house, because that's something that we can present when selling your house. Houses that sit and don't sell, obviously, they have the opposite of what I just told you. They're overpriced, they're not staged. Some houses don't have to be staged. A stage is amazing because it shows the buyer what the house could actually look like, but there's other houses that are really nice, they're presentable, they don't need to be staged. But if your house is not in presentable condition, or it's an empty house, considering that it's going to help you. Not having a house that's empty and not staged is sometimes hard for a lot of buyers to imagine, what is this room used for, or what could it be used for. Lastly, the poor conditions of the house. If the house paint is worn out, appliances are not working, cabinets are old, those are going to be some signs on the buyers that maybe the property hasn't been looked at after so many years. Even the entrance door, having a refresh paint, if it has old paint or the knobs are old, the door doesn't stay open or swings open by itself, those are just not good things to present. Lastly, which I thought it was the other one, but it's this one, the strategy. Make sure that, well, a lot of the agents don't have a strategy how the house is going to be presented. There's steps, there's processes. Find out what that is. If the house is just getting listed, hey, I want to list it tomorrow, pictures are taken, they go in by Friday. There wasn't really a strategy there, and is that really going to bring you an outcome? A lot of the houses, when you're looking online, sometimes they're taking pictures from a cell phone and they're not presentable the way that they should be. So those things are a few things to keep in mind, and why certain houses, even though prices are up, they're not selling. We're looking at the same market, but getting different results. So all of the houses in Chester County, even surrounding areas, they have the same chance to sell, because again, the inventory is low, but not every house is selling. We have to keep in mind many of the things I already mentioned, and that's why the reason they're still there. The first week of listing the house is crucial, because that's going to determine if you're priced correctly, if your strategy is correct, your pictures are correct. The longer the property sits, the harder it will be to sell, or the more speculations the buyer are going to have on this property, because why is it not selling? Why is it not moving? We're at a low inventory market. We're very steady. One thing, if I can emphasize out of all this, is that the market is not forgiving. Okay? Process that a little bit better and slower. The market is not forgiving. When you miss it, you're going to feel it, because you're going to question if your house it's supposed to sell now, it's supposed to receive multiple offers, if you have the right agent or not. Again, the market is not forgiving. Keep many of those things I mentioned in mind, because again, we're low inventory in Chester County. It will help you. Get ready.